Hey my friends, how are you today? If you found me, then you found my little corner of the internet that I like to call Beyond Reasonable Doubt, where we talk about all things true crime, culty, and a little bit creepy. My name is Misty Sims, and I'm so glad that you clicked on the link to this video, and I do hope that you'll click that subscribe button and hang out with me long term so that we can talk about more true crime all the time. And if you're new here, I am so happy to have you, but if you're a returning subscriber, you already know I love you more than cupcakes with sprinkles, so thank you for coming back. Today's case I don't think is going to be quite as controversial as the last one. The comment sections was lit. There was a lot of opinions, but I love that. I welcome that. Like I've said in that video, we'll repeat it again. Always open to you guys, your opinions, your ideas. Everything that I put together here, I'm just a lady on the internet with a camera and too much to say. So it's only my opinion based on my research. So you may teach me something that I didn't know. So I welcome it. I just do ask that it's always done respectfully and kindly, because we never know who might be reading those comments. It could hurt someone's feelings, and that is never the intent of the video. It's just based on what I've researched and read and formed an opinion on. So with that said, I am excited to bring this case to you guys today. But I'm also hoping that you guys are having a great weekend, or had a great weekend and a great start to your week. Today's Monday here for me, and it is the start of fall break. So super excited. If you are on YouTube, then you are noticing a difference behind me. Last week we had the drapey, fun, Halloween-y, all the things, and you can see it's kind of flat back here. The cat that I'm always trying to keep out of the room that you can normally hear rattling the door got in the room, and cats can be jerks, and they apparently don't like Halloween decorations. So we have a very flat backdrop. We're back to the same one that we had before, but we do have Halloween earrings, so 'tis the season. We're in the spirit. I do kind of feel like I'm skipping the season, and I don't mean to, but my first purchase of fall break in October was this amazing lotion, if you can see that. It's Sugar Cookie by Native, and I'm literally gonna put some on now because I can't stop. It smells so good. It skips me though right to Christmas, and I do love Christmas. Absolutely one of my favorites, probably my favorite, honestly. But I love Halloween, so I don't want to skip it. I don't want to skip fall. But if you haven't checked out Native's products, I'm not sponsored in any way by them. Maybe one day, and then you can revert back to this video and see that I love them from the start. Not just because they sponsored me, but they are fantastic. They smell great. They're like paraben free, and their deodorants are aluminum free, so they're just really, really fun products that are better for you, I think. In my opinion, they're better for you. But really love this one. It's so good. I can't stop smelling it. But I did get pumpkin pie body wash, so I guess that kind of keeps me in fall too, right? So there's my frivolous purchases over fall break while I'm not working and not doing anything too crazy. But how was your weekend? Mine was good, busy. We catered a lot this weekend and did a lot of things. However, we are closed and not taking any orders or anything throughout the week until we reopen the restaurant for the weekend. So very excited to just have a few days of downtime, get to enjoy my family, and bring true crime to you guys. I wanted to do something cool for y'all and do like a Shocktober or a Crimetober, but that's all been done. And I don't want to copy somebody else just blatantly, and I'm not creative. I don't think I can't come up with something cool like with my name. Like Stephanie Harlow, who is one of my favorite creators, she does Harloween, which is how fun is that? But my name doesn't really. If it plays on something and you come up with it, please tell me in the comments, because I am about as creative as like sandpaper. I can't come up with things. So totally welcome if you can find anything. We'd love to hear it. So my goal was to do a video for you guys every day in October. It's October 2nd, so obviously we are already behind. But I'm going to try to put out more content this month just because there's a lot of cases that I want to cover. And that leads me into this one. So originally when I was looking, I decided to do I want to do a few high profile cases this month. There's a few things that I want to talk about. I want to deep dive into some. One is Lori Vallow. I want to get that one out of the way. I've tried to calm down a little bit, but you're probably going to get the worst of me in that one. Just going to go ahead and tell you that I am not a Lori Vallow fan. So if you are, you can tune in for that one and bust me in the comments with all the reasons why she's a good person. But I just don't think I don't think there's going to be many. But I want to do that one. There's a cult that I want to talk to you guys about, and that's actually going to be the next video. I think that I do if I can finish up the research. It is going to be about a cult down in Warrior, Alabama. If you're not familiar with that one, it's a doozy. So can't wait to bring you that one and a couple more. But then I decided I wanted to look into some cold cases. Cold cases fascinate me because, there's no answers for the family, and I think that is a disservice to them. As a member of the true crime victim family, where we've had a family member that was taken from us by an act of murder, you never want to be left without answers, because even when you get the answers, it's not really sufficient. It's not that great, but it's something. And you can at least know that for a period of time, that person was taken off the streets, right? Hopefully forever. Hopefully they were put away forever, but in my case, they weren't. They're actually out now, so that's a little weird to know that they're out just, walking around. But it is what it is. They did serve some time. I keep saying because this gets me nervous talking about it. It still is. It's over 10 years now in the past, but it's still fresh to me. But cold cases fascinate me because those families have never even had that. And I think the more we can keep the names out there and we can keep things going, that we can help them find that closure that they need. And this one it had been on my radar for a little while as I was kind of planning my channel. I had heard the names before, kind of Googled it before because I'm big into cold cases in Tennessee and Alabama. You guys know I'm in Tennessee, but I'm very close to Alabama, have some roots down there as far as college and things like that. So wanted to do both. So I had run across this before, and then I was like, okay, well, how about for October, I finally get down in the weeds and cover these cold cases. And this one, it has my heart. I want to do it first. And there's been movement in it this year. So I was just excited. Sounds weird to say, but I was excited because I felt like after such a long time, this family finally can have a little something to rest their head a little bit more easily at night, to know that the killer is off the streets. So without further ado, let's dig right into this one. So today we are going to be talking about Monica and Dalton Rollins. So in 2002, down in Heflin, Alabama, Monica Pritchard Rollins was living a normal but busy life as a mom. She was always found with a smile on her face, and her family described her as easygoing and just an absolutely wonderful and loving mother. And she was even more smiley and more happy right now because she was expecting her third baby, a little boy that she had already named Cheney. And she was already mom to Dalton, who was 6, and Aaron, who was 2. And these boys were just the light of her life. She loved them so much and couldn't wait to welcome a third. The boy's father was Jeremy Rollins, and Jeremy and Monica had been high school sweethearts. They had gone on to get married after high school, but sadly, their marriage was a little short-lived, and they split up and divorced in 2001, but that didn't stop Jeremy from being involved in the boys' lives. He still saw them every other weekend, and they all lived in close proximity, so it was, still a good parenting type situation, even if the couple couldn't be together. And after the divorce, Monica and her boys, they moved into a home of their own on Sugar Hill Road. It was a mobile home, but she's proud of being able to provide a roof over her boys' heads. And she had been working full-time at a daycare called Kitty Castle, but she had just recently, in July, gotten a better, more high-paying job at ITC Deltacom. So she was really excited about this new opportunity, excited to, have the ability to bring in some more money for her family, and just, things are just going good, right? They're going well. She's got this baby boy on the way. She's got a new job. She's got these 2 sweet boys, and then these 2 sweet boys, and the third, as I understand it, all Jeremy's, and they have a supportive father in the picture. So just a good situation all the way around. And then on a Friday in September, Friday the 13th to be exact, so it kind of plays into our Shocktober, Crimetober, Halloweenish feel that we're not going to use those words, I guess. Monica decided that she was going to go visit her father, Donald Pritchard, in Anniston. And Donald was he's waiting on bated breath for them to get there, right? Because first of all, if you have kids, you know that the only reason that your parents had you was to get to those grandbabies, right? They love those grandbabies. So he is so ready to see these baby boys. Cannot wait. And it just happened to coincide right around Dalton's birthday. And Donald was over the moon to give Dalton his birthday gift. There was a new foal on the farm, and Dalton had already named it Mojave. And what he didn't know was that his grandfather was going to gift him that foal that night. So sweet, so excited. He's like a kid in a candy store. He can't wait. And Donald was excited. He knew Dalton would be excited as well. So a little tongue twister there. But by all accounts, they had a wonderful night. They had dinner. They were talking and chatting. The boys are playing. They're riding horses. I mean, it was just a great amount of family time. So around 8:30 p.m., Monica is like, I got to get back on the road to Heflin. It was a little bit of a drive, so she's got to get back on the road. She's got the 2 boys with her. She's pregnant. She doesn't want to be super late getting home. So she says goodbye to her dad, but there is the intent that she's going to return later in the weekend to visit one more time. Well, the weekend kind of passes on, and nobody hears from Monica. Of course, not the boys either. And, they're a little bit worried. It's a little unusual, not quite the norm, but okay. Well, then it rolls around to Monday, and now we know there's an issue. No one's heard from Monica. Nobody's heard from the kids. Nobody knows what's going on. So on Monday, September 16th, a family relative decides to go over and check on Monica and the boys. I mean, she's pregnant. She's got these 2 kids. We're assuming she made it home okay. It's early 2000s, so, I guess not everybody had a cell phone at that point. I think I did at that point, but I was commuting, so she might not have. I don't know. But, they're worried. Where's Monica? Where are these kids? And what about the new baby? Has she gone into labor and can't get anywhere? What's happening? So the family relative decides to head on over and go in and check. And, knocks on the door, goes inside, and absolutely nothing would have prepared this family member for what they were about to find. They found Monica and 6-year-old Dalton just brutally slaughtered in the home. And the police chief at the time was A.J. Benefield, and in 2015 he gave commentary on this case, and he said that still, to this day, it was one of the worst that he had ever walked in on. I mean, and I can't imagine, a pregnant mom here, already brutalized, but then you turn around and you find the 6-year-old. I mean, that's just not supposed to happen to kids, right? It's just not supposed to happen. The police stayed pretty tight-lipped on the actual details of the case. However, the press, as press does sometimes, decided that they would let it be known that they were stabbed. So both Monica and Dalton were stabbed. And one more piece that is, if trigger warnings, if that didn't already get you, I should have triggered you before. This is pretty graphic and pretty bad to think about, so you may want to skip ahead about 30 seconds to not hear this. The attack was so brutal that it, I guess, put Monica's body into stress. And if you're pregnant and you go into some kind of massive stress, lots of times you'll deliver, right? You'll go into labor. And that's what happened. And her baby was found partially delivered and deceased as well. So these police, I can't imagine. I cannot imagine what that was like to walk in and witness this poor mother and her son, and now this partially born but deceased infant that she was so excitedly expecting. And it's just, whoo! I mean, like, I just got chills just even talking about it. Thankfully, the one light at the end of this tunnel was that as they, investigated and started exploring the house, they did find 2-year-old Aaron, who was hiding in a closet, albeit terrified. But the little guy was unharmed and he was alive. So one positive to come out of all this terrible, right? And then poor Jeremy. So Jeremy has no idea that any of this has happened, right? Because, they're divorced. I'm assuming they're not talking every day. I don't know the situation, but that would be my assumption. He has no idea that this has happened, right? He's at work. It's a Monday. He's working a 12-hour shift at a place called Southwire. And he comes home and police show up at his house after his shift. I'm just thinking about me on a Monday when I telework now, but before I did. Coming in, you're kicking off your shoes, you're wore out, you're trying to sit down, you maybe gonna get you something to drink, fix your dinner, whatever, turn on the TV and just chill out, relax, like zone out, turn your mind off. And you hear this knock on the door, and this officer is about to give you some of the worst news you will ever experience in your life. And that is that not only is your ex-wife gone, the mother of your kids, your oldest is deceased, and then now this unborn child. So, like, where do you even turn? What do you even do with that information? Like, how do you I don't know how I would process that. I'm not sure I could. I think I would just explode. So poor Jeremy is in shock, right? But he is 1,000,000% cooperative with the police. They take him down to the station. They go through some questioning. They talk about things. They and I guess where he was, they corroborate his alibi. He was at work and, where he was over the weekend, that type of thing. And he's quickly ruled out as a suspect. Like Jeremy is clean. His hands are clean of this, which don't know at that point if the police, if that, was a good thing or a negative thing, because you usually look to someone close to the victim, and now they don't have that, and it doesn't sound like Monica really had a lot of enemies. So, and a 6-year-old certainly doesn't have enemies. Who did this? The community, they start hearing about it, right? They are scared to death. There's a killer walking around that just brutalized a pregnant lady and a child. Like, I ain't safe. You ain't safe. Ain't nobody safe. Like, what was that? The hide your kids, hide your wives, because they're getting everybody. And it's true. Like, that's how I would feel knowing, in this, Heflin's not a huge town, that this poor innocent child, this poor unborn baby, and this poor mama just met this untimely death. And let's talk about poor little Aaron. Thank God he was okay, but the trauma that he had to feel, because if he was, he was in the house. There's no telling what he heard, right? We don't know. We're not privy to that yet, but you have to believe that he heard something, because I've never been stabbed, clearly, but I would think that that's not a quick or quiet way to go. And I'm just so happy the little guy had the forethought to hide and just be quiet. So, or that's what what we assume that he did. So Jeremy's ruled out. The police don't give a lot of detail. And the reason they don't give a lot of detail is because they're trying to track this killer down, right? And so they're keeping some of the stuff kind of close to the vest to be able to ID this guy or gal when they talk to them, because there's details in every situation that, we all know that only the killer's going to know. But Captain Joe Neighbors did confirm with the Heflin PD, he did confirm that they had taken evidence from the scene and that they had sent it off for forensics. So you're talking like DNA, fingerprints, other artifacts, and they sent it off for testing. And they sent it off to the Alabama Department of Forensic Science. Awesome. But the bad part about it was, at this point in time, the department was experiencing just a huge issue of backlog with items and budget constraints. And we all know that is just a perfect storm for delays and or overutilized staff. They're just being pulled in every which way. And the processing just got delayed. And the case grew cold. And, we're left with a family with no answers, no understanding, no knowing what's going on. Now, the police did say that they stayed close to the family and things like that. But still, there's no movement. There's no arrest. And I can't imagine Jeremy and then Aaron as he's growing up, Donald, the rest of the family are resting easy, wondering who did this to their family members, right? So now that was where I thought I was going to end this video. But as I did my research, in 2023, Captain Scott Banner of the Heflin PD, he gave a statement to the Alabama Cold Case Advisory, or Advocacy, the Alabama Cold Case Advocacy. And he had thanked everybody, thank you so much for your support, for your prayers, for not letting this die. We want to let you guys know that we reopened this case, Monica and Dalton's case, 2 years ago. And they had resent all those artifacts back through forensic testing with both private and public labs. So they wanted to make sure that they could make sure that they knew what they were getting back and it was accurate evidence. And based on that, he said, not only did that evidence come back and it was fruitful, we have a suspect. And that suspect is incarcerated right now on an unrelated charge, so the community can rest easy and rest assured that we know who he is, and we're gonna work on this. So 21 years later, on June the 30th, 2023, the police made an arrest in this case. They sure did, and it was Lewis Landon Spivey. So, who is this guy? He was serving time in Florida for a robbery and aggravated assault charge that happened back in 2010. Nothing to do with anybody in this case or with the family or anything like that. But he confessed. He confessed to both murders. So he's 39 now. He was 18 when he did this. 18 years old. Monica's 23. Dalton's 6. He's 18. He's not even that much older than Dalton. Come on now. And definitely not that much younger than Monica. But the police have said that, he did confess. They knew each other. Monica and this guy, Lewis, knew each other. And that they've said that they had a relationship. Now, I don't know how we define that. I don't know if, I have a relationship with my parents. I have a relationship with my husband. I have a relationship with my children. Relationship is very subjective to the situation. So I don't know if that means that, they were acquaintances, worked together at some point, or they were in a relationship. They haven't let many details out. I'm sure we will. I'm going to update this when there's more to come. I just got so excited that there was an arrest that I didn't want to hold off on this one. But anyway, he's been denied bond. So he's gonna sit there and he's gonna wait till his trial, and we're gonna figure out what's going on with Lewis and why he thought it was a great idea to take the lives of 2 people that day. As far as Jeremy and Aaron go, Jeremy in 2011, he did remarry, and he is the father to twin girls now with his wife. And Aaron graduated high school in 2018, so he's doing well. And as of the time of the articles that I read about the family were written, they were all still living in Heflin, so doing well. They, I don't want to say moved on, because you don't move on. You just live your life as the new normal will allow you. But they are doing great things, and they're being prosperous people. But man, y'all, this was a shorter one than I normally do. So what do you guys think? I can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. What do I think? Lewis, I think it's a wild card. I never thought Jeremy did it based on the things that I read, but I didn't see Lewis coming. And then it makes me wonder, why did, if they had a relationship of any kind, it doesn't matter if it was a friendship or a more intimate one or even acquaintanceship. Typically, if you're acquainted with somebody, you probably know that they've got children, right? So why would he take the life of one child and not the other? because I feel like he would know there was two, right? Like he would probably know that, the 2-year-old's not out on the town going to come home later, like by himself. Like he knows he's got to be in that house. So did he just assume that the 2-year-old couldn't really repeat anything? Did it happen in such a frenzy that the little Aaron was in his room and able to hide? Was it late at night? And, maybe Dalton was with his mom, or maybe he got up and was trying to defend her, and, in the crazy, like, melee was taken as well, or is it something, more sinister, and he planned to do it and he just didn't run upon Aaron, or he, ran out of steam, or he heard something and took off, who knows. But more to come. That will hopefully work its way out in court. But I am so thankful that this family has an answer over who did this to their family member, because the why doesn't fix anything. Or personal opinion for me in the situation. It did not fix anything, but it at least was like, well, now I know that it was this. And I know there's no more threat to my family. There's no further threat to us. And I have a face that I know and I can look at. And, the psychology behind the true crime fascinates me anyway. So that's why I do what I do here. But it was fascinating to hear the why. It really was. And I think sometimes families need that. They need to just know. It's not going to change a dang thing. It's not going to change anything. You're not going to be any less sad. You're not going to be any more anything. You just need to know. It's like, why? What was so important? What was so bad that you had to do this? And, I'm thankful that maybe Jeremy and Aaron and Donald will get that out of it. They had to wait 21 years. They deserve an answer. So, yeah, that is the case of Monica and Dalton Rollins. It's a tragedy. I can't even imagine those poor police officers, but I am kudos and thank you to the Heflin Police Department for not letting that one die, and anybody that, continued to keep their name out there and rally behind the police department to give them support or, a good nudge when they needed it, to keep digging for these cold cases, because that's how hopefully we do bring some closure and justice to the families. But yeah, that was one of my first ones that was a cold case that I was going to do. And thankfully it's not a cold case anymore. So I'm smiling because I'm thankful for that. If I could get anything out of this channel, it would be that every single family, I can't stop what happened and I can't go back in time and fix it, but maybe I can keep the name alive of the victims and bring justice for the families, because they deserve it. They deserve to have their loved ones see their day in court for what happened to them, and just keep their memories alive. So tonight we're keeping Monica and Dalton in our thoughts, and their spirits with us, and saying prayers if you say them for Jeremy and Aaron as they go through this trial and experience what they're about to experience with all of that. Good vibes if you don't believe in prayers, but I certainly do. I certainly do believe in prayer, and I believe it works. So we'll be sending one up for that family, hoping for the best that they put this dude away. I mean, he confessed, so I can't imagine that anything could go wrong, but man, we've seen it happen before. We've seen a confession throw it out like it ain't nothing. So that'll do it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell. If you were over on Spotify, go ahead and rate this podcast, and please become a subscriber or follower as well. If you're not following me over on Instagram, I highly encourage you to do so. The link is in the description box, as is the email to give me case suggestions. I would absolutely love some case suggestions from you guys. You can put them in the comments, but that email is definitely going to make it to me. We have definitely grown in our subscriber count over the past few weeks. Very excited about that, and I'm hoping that we hit triple digits soon in both places, both Spotify and YouTube. And if we do, I'm thinking about a giveaway, guys. What do you think? I'm thinking that it's getting close to Black Friday, and everybody's going to be out shopping. Well, maybe not out shopping, be online shopping if you're me, in my yoga pants and my Dolly t-shirt or whatever. But maybe let's do a giveaway, like an Amazon gift card or something if we get there. I think if we spill over the 100 mark, maybe we should do that giveaway. So be sure you're liking, comment, and sharing, subscribing, telling folks about it. Tell them to get over here on Beyond Reasonable Doubt and hang out with us, because it may be a wild time, and I am, as I said in the comments last week, I am not for everybody. I am an acquired taste, but for those that like me, here I am, and we're a lot of fun. We'll hang out over here, my little cupcakes. My name's Misty. Maybe I should call you my misfits, because I am definitely a misfit, so maybe we'll fit in good together. I don't know. But until next time, just know that I love you so much for being here. I appreciate you for coming back every week and listening to me, or hanging in there if you're new for the next round. I love you more than you could ever imagine, and I want you to stay safe out there. Stay sweet, and I will see you next time, my cupcakes. Bye!